What you are about to see concerns microlending in South Africa. I'm Martha Deacon, and I started this project in early 1999 with Reverend Lulama Chingwa. I believe this is the most important work I've ever been involved with. In July 1998, I sold my business and took a sabbatical year to travel. In November, I arrived in South Africa and visited the marvelous beauty spots and game parks of that country. I also visited some townships, Khayelitsha outside Cape Town, KwaMashu outside Durban, and Soweto outside Johannesburg. These visits changed my life. The video images you are about to see were shot by Zanakolo, who likes his moving pictures fat and bumpy. These black townships were purpose-built to be servant communities to the white cities, without businesses or shops of their own. As a result, more than half the people are unemployed and desperately poor. Since the miracle of free elections in 1994, another miracle has been daily expected, the escape from poverty. The United Nations has recently recognized that loans as small as $100 can lift a family out of poverty. Access to credit has been proven in 40 different countries over a period of 20 years to be the essential condition in transforming a community from despair to hope. I was convinced that Canadians would support such a loan program in the townships, but I needed a local partner. A month later, in December 1998, I went to the World Council of Churches Assembly in Zimbabwe. There I met the Reverend Lulama Chingwa, Chief Ecumenical Officer from the Eastern Cape in South Africa. Lulama hasn't always been a priest. He has been a high school teacher, a car assembly supervisor for Mercedes-Benz, and a leading life insurance representative for Umutuel. In the late 1980s, he took on the job of dealing with peace and justice issues for the Anglican Church in his region. He was very effective. So effective that in 1989, the apartheid authorities arrested him in the dead of night and threw him into solitary confinement. When he was finally released, he was taken to New York City to safety for 3 years. While in New York, he spoke for Amnesty International and other groups. Lulama is a committed fighter of poverty, despair, and all things undemocratic. I have met the right partner. The day after I met Lulama, President Mandela came to Harare where he issued a challenge to churches to attack poverty at its roots. The Townships Project is a direct response to that challenge. I promised Lulama a year of my time to see if we could start a microcredit project in his area. In turn, he pledged to do everything in his power to ensure that it was tightly and effectively run. Now we needed some money to lend. Back in Canada, from January until April, I spoke with hundreds of people to sound out their interest in this kind of self-help project. The response was very encouraging. Soon, Canadian Memorial United Church in Vancouver had pledged $15,000 in seed money. In April, I went back to South Africa to visit Reverend Chingwa at the South African Council of Churches in East London, and to train several women to be microbankers in the townships of Umbansani and Duncan Village. By the time I left East London at the end of May, we were ready to start. The first loans were extended to the community at the end of June 1999. Loans were made to 45 women in groups of 5, each woman acting as guarantor for the other women in her group. There are 2 advantages to group lending. It provides surety for the loan, and it provides moral support and business encouragement to the borrower. The borrowers pay 5% per month interest on their loans. Loans which start at 500 rands, or about 125 Canadian dollars, repayable over a 6-month period. The interest we charge is used to build a self-sustaining banking institution. But for our program, these women can't get loans to build their businesses, other than from loan sharks. Loan sharks who demand no less than 600% interest per year and as much as 50% interest per week. In August 1999, Reverend Chingwa was the proud host to Mrs. Graça Machel, Dr. Mandela's wife, on World Breastfeeding Day. On this occasion, Reverend Chingwa officially launched our project.
And today, they are launching again this project, which we say is between the churches of Canada and churches of this country. When we met as World Council of Churches in that assembly, and churches of Canada met us, and we agreed that they want to respond, and they have responded.
In November 1999, I returned to South Africa. I found a huge commitment in Umbansani. Offices had been found in the community. A second group of loans had been extended. The first group of loans were nearly repaid, and all loan payments were being made on time on a weekly basis. The stories of the women who had received the loans were heartwarming. Their children were being properly fed, they were going to school, there was hope in the air. Above all, there was a desperate desire that the project expand and expand and expand until all people who are capable of helping themselves out of poverty through a small loan are given that loan. Here are 4 short case histories. This is Mrs. Kiba.
She's cooking, she's selling apple. Do you know what apple is? It's intestine. Been able to make more money? Is it better with this loan?
Yes, it is much better. I think by next year I will manage to buy easily.
Really?
This is Mrs. Tokwe, who makes sweaters.
The business and the people were paying to make something like 3,000.
3,000 rands per month is about 750 Canadian dollars and is considered a very good wage. It provides a decent standard of living. This is Mrs. Whaney. She borrowed 500 rand from our project in June 1998 to expand her fruit business. That's about 125 Canadian dollars.
And your sales every day? About 100 rand a day.
This new technology, called microcredit, is well known in the aid world. Now it must be known to everyone who can give $125 for a needy family to leave poverty behind forever. That loan represents so much more than money. It represents hope, pride, dignity. It promises a transformation of the borrower into an effective, peaceful, contributing citizen. We owe this to ourselves and to our world. Please help us to continue this project and spread the word to anyone you know who believes that people should help themselves.